VP. Goal swung, right field. Forget about it. Rangers strike first. Goes after the first one. Drills a high fly ball. Left center field. This game is tied. From Javier. Seager hits a high fly ball. Deep right field. A bomb into first. Drive. It's tied. Corey Seager smashes the ball. Down the line. Goodbye. Now Seager to right center field. Way back there. Good again. Corey Seager does it again. It's Texas Rangers win the World Series. The Willie Mays Most Valuable Player Trophy presented by Chevrolet. Is there any doubt? Corey Seager.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you top of the 8th inning. And I just tweeted it out a little bit before the game tonight. A little bit before the live tonight. And look, have I given up hope completely? No. But this game very undeniably has the feel of a funeral, doesn't it? I cannot say I've given up completely on this season, but there is no denying the vibe of this game. Not good. Not good at all. Look, no silver linings to take away from this game. I will say that. There's zero silver linings that I can spin, and I consider myself to be the king of the silver linings playbook. There's not hardly anything positive I take away from a game like this. I mean, even Wyatt Langford, I feel bad for the kid. Gets his 2020 season, the first since Marcus Semien and Adolis Garcia did it a few years ago. Youngest 2020 season, I think, in franchise history. I don't think that's Major League history, surely. It's got to be franchise history. It's unfortunate it has to come on a game like tonight when the Rangers just show up completely lifeless. Merrill Kelly, one of the more unclutch performances you'll ever see with the season on the line. 6 earned runs. 9 hits. Just a sad game tonight. Again, if you want just the straight answer, and you might think I'm crazy, that's okay. Have I given up on the season? No. Does this game feel like a wake? Like you're visiting the morgue? Yes, it does. The Rangers still have an opportunity to win tomorrow, which would secure the silver boot. By the way, tomorrow, I don't know how you don't play with pride to win the silver boot tomorrow and still have a chance. It's not a great chance, but it is a chance. You win tomorrow, you would only be 3 games out of a playoff spot. Houston has to deal with a very hot Seattle team. The Rangers coming back home for a weekend series against one of the worst teams in baseball, the Marlins, who've had their flashes this year, but they're not going anywhere. It could happen. There is a world where that exists. I'm not sure that it's going to become reality for us Rangers fans and for the Rangers in general. But until the elimination happens, I can't do it. I can't give up. Love this team too much. Love this game too much. I can't give up. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend. And look, you guys know I wear the emotions on the sleeve sometimes. We try to put on a good show. I might be smiling right now, but I'll tell you what, it's a tough night. Jonah Heim's making it interesting, though. He's belting the home run. Right now, the Rangers at least get it to 6-3, making it a little bit more respectable. You'd love to see him do this earlier in the game, or yesterday, or the day before that. But you know what? 6-3, there's a fighting chance. Fighting chance, I guess. Hey, at least we got something, y'all. Am I right in that we just have to become the biggest Mariners fans there are? at this point. Maggie, appreciate it. Thank you so much for the gift. I mean, at this point, I think we become the biggest Mariners fans. We got to hope the Mariners sweep the Astros this weekend. Rangers need to sweep the Marlins. Hopefully you can get a Mariners sweep of the Stros. If that happened, you would be tied for a playoff spot, by the way. I feel like that is the path, or very close to it. Even if Seattle won 2 out of 3 and we swept, that would be huge. I think you get it the other way around. If Houston were to win 2 out of 3 or to sweep, it may spell doom for the Rangers, depending on what the Red Sox are doing. Guardians, of course, are ahead of us, but Swolger, I can't really worry too much about the Guardians. We control our own destiny with the Guardians. That would be my only rebuttal for anybody talking about Guardians. You play 3 games against them at the end of the year. You essentially control your destiny against the Guardians. Maybe the Red Sox will end up being worse. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the Red Sox. But obviously, you worry about the Astros. They're directly in front of you. Red Sox, by the way, result today, they lose 2-1 to the A's. So you've got the Red Sox, but obviously you're hoping for as many outcomes as possible here, guys. So, yeah, look, clearly the Red Sox losing today is helpful. You're not going to gain, you're not going to lose any ground because of that loss. You're still going to be 3 games out, but you would still love to see the Astros lose this weekend to the Mariners. Astros beating Seattle would not be ideal, Chris. Eagle, what's good, man? By the way, Higgy just singled, so the Rangers, I guess, trying to get a little 2-out rally here. I don't know what Cole was doing on that one, man. For a guy that's had an outstanding series so far, that was a whiff. Now, look, who was it? 44? Was that you talking about Josh Young a little bit earlier? And 44, you didn't tell any lies. Josh Young back to his usual. Team is anemic, lackluster, no enthusiasm, don't deserve to be in the playoffs. Look, you watch a game like tonight, you're right, they don't look deserving of being in the playoffs. I don't think there is any getting around it. You never know. I'm not giving up on the team. Josh Young home run would go a long way here. A long way. 3-game losing streak, definitely not ideal. But again, the path at this point, you win deGrom Day tomorrow. You sweep it against Miami. I don't think that is an impossibility. I don't think that sequence is impossible, y'all. Now, look, it depends on the results. Could you just win the series? I think you got to win tomorrow. And look, I mean, if the Red Sox lose again, maybe not. I mean, it really does depend on what the Red Sox do. How many losses you can afford to take. I mean, it's going to start becoming a numbers game where you've got to win. But look, it kind of does depend on the Red Sox. A sweep and a win tomorrow would be ideal. A sweep of the Marlins, you obviously start by getting the win tomorrow. That'd go a long way. I don't think it's over quite yet, but I cannot deny it's not looking good. It is not looking good. I'm homered. It's a miracle. Yes. Young needs to be gone. I don't know if Young needs to be gone. I get pushback every time I talk about this. By the way, Josh Young doubles one into the corner. Higgy rounding third. Possibly a play at the plate here. He is going to be safe, and the Rangers make it a 2-run game. Josh Young, ears were burning on that one. The ears were burning, and Josh Young makes it a 2-run game. If Houston blows this, wow. If Houston finds a way to blow this game, you know what? I'm going to be left speechless, truly. I'm just going to be sitting here enjoying it just like you guys. Texas is one swing away from tying this game. One swing away. I'm not allowing my hopes to get put anywhere beyond where they are right now, which is pretty much basement level for this game. But man, would it be fun if Osuna put a charge in one right now. We'll see what they're doing with the pen. Maybe Osuna potentially going to get pinch hit for, but you're one swing away from being back in it. Yeah, Landon, look, I agree. If you lose tonight and if you lose tomorrow, it feels over. It really does. Osuna home run on Mexico Independence weekend would be insane, but very fitting, Antonio. Good to see you, my friend, as always. JJ, I was about to say you might want to turn on the TV. Look, I'm trying not to get my hopes up at all. I'm not holding my breath, but you know what? 6-4 is better than 6-1. That's all I know. 6-4 is definitely better than 6-1. You're one swing of the bat away from this being a tie ball game. And wouldn't that make things oh so interesting? Jonah Heim hits a 2-run bomb. Josh Young laces a double down the left field line, and the Rangers have hope. Have hope. I'd love to see a rally here, D. Fernandez. I would love that, my guy. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you guys. JR, it is getting interesting. I don't think any Rangers fan is really getting their hopes up too high at this point, my guy. But one swing of the bat, you never know. Yeah, Eli, that's how I feel tonight. Are the Rangers out of it? Look, with the A's doing us a favor and beating Boston, no, the Rangers are not out of it. They are not looking good, though. You really needed to take 2 out of 3 in Houston. Really needed to take 2 out of 3. Only, look, taking 1 out of 3, I would take that at this point. I think that would keep you at least hopeful in the race. I'm not worried about the Guardians. I wouldn't worry about Cleveland at all. We've got 3 games in tow against the Guardians. I'm not too worried about Cleveland sneaking up a game or a game and a half. You control your own destiny against Cleveland. So I know that there's going to be some people. Cleveland passed us. And Swolger, I'm not getting on you at all, my guy. But I just cannot worry about a team that we have 3 games the last weekend of the season against. Like, unless Cleveland gets up 3 games on us, or 4 games, I should say. We have the tiebreaker over them if we sweep the series. Unless Cleveland gets to 4 games up on us, you're not worried about Cleveland. You have it within your reach. You play 3 games against them in Cleveland at the end of the year. As long as they are 3 games up or less, you can't be worried about Cleveland. You control your own destiny. Mariners versus Astros is going to be big, and I definitely think that at this point I'm going to be cheering for the Mariners. Definitely not going to be cheering for the Astros. I'll be cheering for the Mariners, though. I don't think there's any other path. Mariners, they just keep winning. Mariners do play Wednesday and Thursday, so I guess we'll have to see what happens in that series. By the way, Adolis Garcia in the on-deck circle right now. Wouldn't that be wild? 3-2 count to Alejandro Osuna. He walks here. He gets on base. Rangers could potentially have the go-ahead run in Adolis Garcia. Wow. That'd be wild. Osuna keeps fouling him off here. He is hanging tough. He's hanging tough. JR, a little Freudian slip, my guy. Oh, my goodness. It's been one of those days, man, especially this Rangers result. Osuna hanging tough, man. Full count. Pitch number 8 on the way. And it looks like Osuna is going to reach base, bringing up Adolis Garcia with a chance to put the game in the Rangers' favor. One swing of the bat, the Rangers could be up 7-6. Oh, my goodness, y'all. It is getting interesting. I'm not letting my hopes get up. I'm really not, but this is getting interesting. Adolis Garcia with a chance to really do something very, very special right here. Oh, my gosh. If you guys are going to, you guys might have to turn the volume down a little bit on your phone right now. If he hits one out, you might have to turn the volume down a little bit. Adolis Garcia, 2 on, 2 out. Brian Abreu up for the Astros, trying to end this inning. Dolly 0 for 8 since coming off the IL. Let's see what he's got. Pitch number 1 incoming. Here's the pitch. Adolis shoots one through, and the Rangers are going to make it a 1-run game. First to third goes Osuna, and Texas has pulled within 1. Adolis Garcia, not the home run, but he does punch one through, and the Rangers have life. Freeman up to bat, the spark plug. Dolly's pumped, gets his first hit since coming off the IL. Couldn't come at a better time. The tying run, 90 feet away, and Alejandro Osuna, a guy with wheels. Could you get a Brian Abreu slider in the dirt to score him? Possibly. Possibly. Smolder, I see what you did there, brother. I see what you did there. Yeah, that's right. Who wanted Adolis to sit? Come on now. Who wanted that? Who on earth thought sitting Adolis tonight was a good idea? Ball 1 to Cody Freeman. 1 for 2 with a walk and a home run tonight. A guy that you feel pretty good about having up at the plate. And Ezekiel Duran is going to steal second base. So Rangers have the go-ahead run at second. Freeman takes a hung slider right over the heart of the plate. Must not have been thinking about off speed there. That was a hanging slider there for the taking. 1-1 on Cody Freeman. Pitch number 3 incoming. Another slider on the outer half. Cody's going to foul this one off, and he is down to his final strike. Abreu 1 pitch away from getting out of this jam. Cody with a little half-hearted swing. Wild pitch in the dirt, please. I would love for Abreu to bounce one here, but I believe in Cody. I believe in him. Here we go. Here's the pitch. Oh, that was almost it, y'all. That was almost the slider in the dirt that got away. I know y'all saw that. That was almost the slider in the dirt that got away right there. Oh, my goodness. Pitch number 5 incoming. I thought that was the slider in the dirt that was going to do it. Oh, Cody. Why are we swinging at that, buddy? I love you. Why are we swinging at that pitch? Cody's going to pop it up to the infield. Rangers are going to be retired, but what a comeback. They make it a 1-run game. They've got a chance with the top of the order coming up. Cody, that was not it, buddy, man. I love Cody Freeman, but it's just not it, man. You're swinging at a pitch 6 inches to a foot probably above the zone. Just not good. Not good, y'all. Rangers are within a run. Dave Raymond is a lot more enthused than I am. Maybe I'll get there. I got to see how this thing plays out. 1 run, definitely a lot more manageable at this point. Totally agreed on that. A lot more manageable. Bullpen definitely needs a 0. 100% the bullpen needs a 0 at this point. Oh, man. I got to admit, I don't know if this happens with y'all or if y'all do this, but a lot of the times I'll watch the game, I'll stream it, and my at-bat app is a little bit ahead of the stream. So I'm not going to lie to you. I try during the show to just watch the game and not overreact to anything that I see on the game day. And you guys know who watch on YouTube and X, I have the game day app up at the bottom of the screen. And look, I saw in-play runs, and I tried to keep my composure. First pitch, it was right down the middle, and I thought, did he just get a hold of a 3-run homer? I saw that in-play runs for Adolis, and I just thought to myself, he just did it, didn't he? He just hit a 3-run bomb. Look, I'll take the single. That was phenomenal. But, man, that got my hopes up. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Totally got my hopes up. No problem. I'm watching on MLB TV, Matt, but maybe somebody else on TikTok can help you out. Yeah, I think all the apps that you got to work through these days, don't even get me started on that. Green Arrow, what's good? Trout still isn't to number 400? And he is having a tough time. Chris Martin is pitching right now? Wow. Wow. 44, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for the kind words. I try to be. Look, I got to admit, I was on the couch watching this game before we got started with the show, and it was totally one of those nights. I'm like, man, the last thing I want to do is talk about a game like this. And I'm so glad that it's actually turned competitive here. 1-run game, much better than 6-1. I'll take this. At least there's some drama. It's not going to ease the pain of the loss if the Rangers don't get it done. This is still a big loss, and I don't think you can take any moral victory out of it. I still stand by that. If the Rangers lose this game 6-5, there's no silver lining for losing it. I don't care what Dave Raymond and Mike Baxick say about anything going into tomorrow. Great. Awesome. You lost tonight, though. If you lose this one, it's not over. It's not over, but you got to win tonight. You would love to see the Rangers not waste this 4-run outburst that they had in the 8th inning. Cody Freeman, man, had he laced one into the gap, wow. That would have been some moment. Would have been some moment. At least Wyatt Langford comes up. I think you got to feel good about Wyatt Langford. I hope reverse jinx is about to be activated, because I got to tell you, I'm not very confident in Josh Smith. Not very confident. Antonio, you and me are about to be kings of the reverse jinx, my friend. About to be kings of it. I don't feel confident at all with Josh Smith coming up 0 for 4 with 2 Ks tonight. Looks like that hit him, and Martin's going to have Pena on base. Pena's 3 for 3 tonight. He probably would have found a way on anyways. I don't think it was on purpose, Dan. I think it got away from him a little bit. Looks like it hit his arm. Looks like that hit his arm, huh? I was like, it didn't hit the jersey. Hit his arm. Ethan, appreciate the follow. If it makes you feel better, Astros aren't confident in the 9th inning. Chris, maybe. I hope you guys are right. I'm telling you, I'm not trying to keep my hopes up any higher than they need to be. I'm very, very good with where they're at right now. Look, that 8th inning was exciting. I'm going to go ahead, though, and keep my expectations low, and you never know. Rangers get a couple guys on. Maybe you'll see the vibe shift a little bit. Josh Hader is injured right now, Green Arrow. Caden says, wish Baxick could keep his mouth shut during at bats. Now I feel bad. Double play, and the inning is over. Rangers will head to the 9th inning. And they've got 3 outs to play with. Got to score a run. Chris Martin, efficient. I think it's time for a Josh Smith home run, one of his patented bombs against Houston. It's time. Josh Smith has had some big homers against Houston, one in this ballpark that I can remember from last year. We don't need the home run, Dan, but you'd love to see it. I mean, I'm not going to mind it if it shows up. Jim's already ready for Stars hockey. Look, hockey is definitely a sport that I enjoy watching. I think I've said to you guys Probably one of the sports I would not consider myself to be an expert in. Baseball, football, top tier. And I'm not trying to be arrogant when I say that, but I've been around each of those games. Football, baseball for a long, long time. I don't know everything, but I've got a pretty good grip on it. Hockey, though, is a sport I love watching, but the X's and O's, the strategy, I don't have it. But look, hockey can be one of the most exciting sports, period. Playoff hockey, nothing like it. I'm excited for the hockey season to start up. I'm excited for basketball season. Dallas Mavericks, I'm excited. A lot of things coming our way in October here, right? And you'd love for postseason baseball to be one of them. I think that's what bums me out the most about the Rangers potentially not making it. And I haven't given up yet, but that's what bums me out the most. And it's not even selfishly for the channel, right? Because obviously, I don't think I need to hide from the fact that playoff baseball is good for Ride on Rangers. It's great for Ride on Rangers. I get to make more content. I get to hang out with y'all talking baseball, hosting lives, doing the things I love to do. But it just always makes me sad in October when your team's not in it. And I would love nothing more than the Rangers just to find a way. Just get in. Find a way. Let's go, boys. 9th inning. Here we go. Pitch number 1. We got a little slider over the heart of the plate. Smith probably not going to be looking for a pitch like that. Josh Smith is going to put the ball in play here. And the Rangers are in business. Look, about the weakest hit that you could imagine. But look, Josh Smith will take it, baby. The tying run is on base. What was the exit velo on that sucker? What was the exit velo? 50? 78. All right, I didn't give Josh Smith enough credit. 78 off the bat. Put it where they ain't. That's all you got to do. Put it where they ain't. Wyatt Langford, you have the chance to do the most amazing thing. You have the chance, Wyatt. I'll tell you what. Word to the wise here. Abreu keeps throwing this hanging slider for strike 1. He keeps throwing it. Rowdy Tellez, word to the wise. He keeps throwing the hanging slider for strike 1. That's all I'm saying. Oh, Wyatt, come on, baby. Don't swing at that. Wyatt, don't do it, babe. Come on. Word to the wise to Rowdy Tellez. This dude loves throwing a hanging slider for strike 1. He's done it to Smith. He did it last inning. He did it to Langford. Can somebody bang the hanging slider and put the Rangers on top? Come on now. He's going to foul one off here, man. He keeps doing these check swings. That's 2 swings in a row. He's been a little indecisive. Clear the mechanism, man. Clear the mind. Just reset this one. Abreu about to throw pitch number 20. Look, he's been active this series. He has been active of late. You wonder, is the wear and tear, might he be a little tired? Look, Rangers have some life here. Wyatt Langford is going to take ball 1. It's 1-2 count. And Wyatt is going to be called out on strikes. Oh, Wyatt. Come on, babe. Why? Why? All right, word to the wise. Rowdy Tellez, look first pitch hanging slider, please. Ball 1, slider in the dirt. He loves throwing this slider for the first pitch. I'm telling you, if he puts that one in the zone, it could be Rowdy. It could be Jonah Heim. Who knows? That hanging slider first pitch. We'll see what happens. Pickoff attempt. 1-0 to Rowdy. Rowdy's had some big hits of late. Let's see if he can come through here. 1 out in the 9th. Rangers have Josh Smith on first base. Oh, Rowdy. Hold off on that, buddy. Rowdy did such a great job holding off on ball 1, and he swings it a nearly identical pitch for strike 1. It's a 1-1 count. You wish he would have been able to hold off literally the exact same pitch as he saw in the first one. One and one count. Pitch number 3. Abreu about to throw pitch number 24 in the top of this 9th inning. He delivers. Rowdy's going to pop one up here. Hangs up in the air. Out left field. Rangers down to their final out. And you know what? Exactly the guy you want up, right? Jonah Heim. Jonah Heim up to bat. Like I said, we'll take back everything we've said about Jonah if he can just have a good last 4 to 5 weeks of the season here. We'll take back everything we've said. Bring him back for another year next year. No non-tender. No trade. Come on, Jonah. Bail us out, baby. Bail us out. First pitch, swinging. Jonah liked what he saw. It was a good pitch. It wasn't that slider. Abreu pumping the fastball right down the pipe. Heim not able to connect. Man, that was a pretty pitch. That was a pretty pitch. Finally didn't throw that slider though, Matt. Pitch number 2. Oh, Brian, 100%. Jonah swings through 98, and he is down to his last strike. Probably would have been ball 1. Oh, 2 pitch from Abreu. He takes his time. And the Rangers are going to stay alive. Jonah Heim singles. Oh, my goodness. Smith is so lucky. Smith is so freaking lucky that he gloved that. Smith is so lucky. Incredibly lucky. If he doesn't stop that, Jonah Heim's not getting around the bases. Don't get me wrong. But the Rangers are scoring a run for sure. So lucky. Wow. First and second. Kyle Higashioka rode Higgy up to bat. And he takes ball 1. There's the slider again. Rode Higgy, 2 for 4, 2 singles. We'll take a single right now. Josh Smith moving on contact. 2-0. Two sliders in a row thrown to Kyle Higashioka. You wonder if he'll get a good pitch to hit here. Kimberly, appreciate the gift. Thank you so much. Called strike. He throws the slider. Front door slider on that one. There you go. Front door slider. Higgy's going to spit on it. Good pitch, probably, to just lay off of. You're not going to do a whole lot with that. Pitch number 4. And Higgy is going to wave through a slider on the outside corner that was painted. Abreu, 2 pitches in a row, just beautifully painted on the corners. And that's going to do it. Higgy strikes out on a terrible pitch out of the zone. Not the at-bat you wanted to see the Rangers go down on. The Rangers lose 6-5. They drop 4 games out of a playoff spot with this loss to the Astros. Too little too late was the comeback. The Rangers score 4 runs in the top of the 8th inning. They threaten in the top of the 9th, but are not able to get the job done. Merrill Kelly going to take the loss in this one. Abreu gets the save. And the Rangers have dug a massive hole for themselves with exactly 10 games remaining in this 2025 season. Hard loss to take if you're a Rangers fan. Hard loss to take. Texas giving you hope, giving you at least a sliver of opportunity to think we might see one of the most amazing comebacks of the year. It was not meant to be. Rangers needed Wyatt Langford in that inning, and I know that a couple of y'all said it in the comments, but to not get Wyatt Langford putting the ball in play there, a shame. And to have him strike out looking, even more so. You're not even going down swinging. You're not even going down hacking there. Has to be better. Has to be better there. And that's Wyatt still being the young player that he is, with a whole lot expected out of him. And just not able to put it all together. Wyatt has had some clutch hits. You think back to the Mets series. He had a big RBI that put the Rangers ahead on Saturday. Can't say that Wyatt has not been clutch at all this year. Don't want to take it to that place, but would have just been huge to get a knock from him there. Anything. You have the leadoff hitter get on base. You love to see the Rangers do something with it. And it wasn't meant to be. Must win tomorrow. Absolutely. Absolutely. Must win tomorrow. Look, I said it. I tweeted it out. I put it on at the beginning of the show when we first went live. There is a world where the Rangers win tomorrow. They go home and they either sweep or take 2 out of 3 against Miami. A sweep would be preferable. And the Astros have a lot of trouble with the Mariners, who are red hot right now and look to be nearly unstoppable. They won 12-5 tonight, improving to 83-68 on the season. Incredible run that Seattle's on right now. And I think, look, at this point, obviously you're cheering for Red Sox losses. I think that Seattle has positioned themselves too far away for you to really be worrying about Seattle results. I mean, look, could Seattle lose their last 10 games? Sure. I mean, anything can happen, but it doesn't look like that's going to. I think at this point, you become the biggest Mariners fan that there is. If you're a Rangers fan, you cheer on Seattle as they take on Houston on on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you just hope that Texas can salvage tomorrow. Another night game, by the way. Another night game tomorrow. A little bit odd, but with the Rangers having a day off on Thursday, night game isn't a big deal. And you're just going back to Arlington anyways. There is a world where the Rangers win tomorrow and you go home and you win 3 out of 3 against Miami. Seattle takes 2 out of 3 or maybe sweeps Houston. And then you're right back there in business, final week of the season. Absolutely could happen. Now, it could go the other way. And if the Rangers lose tomorrow, look, clearly they're not eliminated. But let's be honest, the writing is kind of on the wall. Unless the Red Sox continue to lose, you are not going to be able to catch Houston. You're not going to be able to catch Seattle. We already talked about that. The path, if you lose tomorrow, is Red Sox continuing to soil the bed down the stretch. And that could happen. We have to see what Boston does tomorrow. I think before we make any kind of call on the Rangers season, you got to see what Boston does. A win tomorrow goes a long, long way. But now we do the scoreboard watching thing. We see how Boston finishes. They lost tonight. Thank you to the A's. A's won 2-1 over the Red Sox. Boston is at home, by the way, so the A's are doing this on the road. Look, the Rangers getting a fortunate result with Boston really skidding here at the end. Very, very fortunate. All right. Look, I've tried to get comments in as much as I could during the actual game itself, but let's dedicate ourselves to the comment section a little bit. Appreciate all y'all hanging out. Look, I've said it a few times. One thing that I've prided myself on and prided this show on is showing up. No fair weather at Right On Rangers. And it is so hard to do these shows inside. I'm a diehard. First and foremost, I am a diehard Rangers fan. I always feel better by the end of the show. I always feel a little bit better. It's just good to talk it out. We talked about it last night. It's like therapy. getting to talk it out with you guys, hearing from other fans, not alone. But I got to admit, you're watching 6-1, pounding, and the last thing I want to do is hop on. But you know what? We're committed. We're not giving up on this team either. We'll be here every night. Unless I've got something crazy going on, work-wise, family-wise, we'll be here. And that has been my promise to y'all since day one. And I appreciate all y'all hanging out too. It's not easy tonight taking an L in this series. Rangers still have a chance to win the Silver Boot. Tomorrow is for the Silver Boot. Have some pride. Put out a fiery reel today. I wish it would have had its intended impact. You've got not everything in front of you, but you got a lot in front of you still. You win the Silver Boot tomorrow. You go back home for the home cooking, a place where the Rangers play really, really well. You've got 2 series against the Marlins and against the Twins, teams that are not in the playoffs, teams that don't have a lot to play for. That doesn't always mean that you're going to walk over everybody. You're not. But the Rangers have an opportunity to go back home, have a really good homestand, and look up and potentially find themselves still in the mix going into the final weekend of the series. Winning the Silver Boot tomorrow is pretty much everything. I don't see a huge path for Texas. You lose tomorrow and Boston wins. Now you've got a 4-game deficit. If you win tomorrow and Boston wins, I think that's okay. But if you lose tomorrow and Boston wins, you're pretty much done. I don't see any other way around it. If you lose the Silver Boot, you lose deGrom Day, you get swept by the Astros, and the Red Sox find a way to get a win, I think it might be game, set, match. deGrom Day tomorrow. And I think you feel great with him on the mound. I know deGrom has had his ups and downs, but in deGrom we trust. And you wouldn't want really anybody else out there. Maybe save Nathan Eovaldi. I think probably at this point, a lot of Rangers fans would probably rather have Evo out there than deGrom in a big game. But you know what? Let's not be spoiled. deGrom, one of the most reliable pitchers on the planet. And he has the season riding on his shoulders tomorrow night in Houston. And you hope that he is game. You know that the Astros will be throwing Javier, who's had some ups and downs this year. Definitely has the potential to be a really good pitcher. But the Astros have some mojo right now. It doesn't feel like the Rangers, ever since Sunday, have just really found their rhythm. And I don't know if I can sit here and blame Bruce Bochy for Sunday and benching Hellman and bringing back Adolis Garcia. I just don't know if I can do that. I think that ultimately it always is going to fall on the players. And tonight, Bruce Bochy isn't the one giving up 6 earned runs, right? And you guys know I have not been easy on Boch at every turn this season. I have had my fair share of criticism for Bruce Bochy. He's not giving up 6 earned runs to the Astros tonight like Merrill Kelly did. And I don't think that you can sit here tonight and just rail on Bruce. You're not going to be able to overcome a lot of starts where your starting pitcher, who's supposed to be one of your aces, gives up 6 earned runs. Look, Boch has not made some good moves. Last night felt atrocious from a managerial standpoint. I don't think there's any denying that. You can explain it away any which direction. You can, politic your way out of it. And the Rangers are good at that. Post-game, Bruce Bochy, the king of saying a whole lot of nothing. I mean, that is what good managers are supposed to do, by the way. Bruce Bochy doesn't owe anybody a transparent look into the clubhouse, and he's never going to. But tonight, I don't think you can blame Bochy. He did pretty much everything that he could, I think, in this one. You started Merrill Kelly. You started Hellman and Freeman. You benched Adolis Garcia after going 0 for 8. I don't think this one you can blame on Boch. Maybe Monday's game, maybe Sunday's game. I don't think you can blame this one on Bochy. And Boch has not been hitting his bingos over the past few days. Don't get me wrong. But tonight, I don't think that it was the manager's fault. You're not going to overcome a lot of games where your starter gives up 6 earned runs. All right. Pitching was bad tonight. Today was an Astros bullpen game, and the Stros still win. It's a beautiful thing about baseball, and it's a tragic thing. Depends on what side you're on. We've said it so many times. The beautiful thing about baseball is you can go up against Tarik Skubal and you can win. Even though Tarik Skubal is one of the best pitchers on the planet, you can go up against a Jacob deGrom and win. That's the beautiful thing about this sport that I've always loved. And so the Astros, yeah, they throw a bullpen game today and they win. That happens in baseball. And then you know what? They throw Hunter Brown earlier in the season and they lose 1-0 against Texas. It happens. It happens. I'm not going to dwell over the top on a game like this. We've already talked it through in a number of different directions, and I'm going to continue to take comments and questions. All you can do is move on to tomorrow. You still have a chance. Win deGrom Day. Go home. I think you got to go 5-1 on the homestand. I don't think you necessarily got to go 6-0. But I think you got to go 5-1 on the homestand. And then you got to let the chips fall where they do with the teams ahead of you. And if it's not good enough, it's not good enough. I don't think 6-0 is necessarily realistic on the homestand. Could they do it? Yes, they could. They could sweep both Miami and Minnesota. I don't think anybody would be shocked because that's the team that they are at home. I think you got to go 5-1. I think you've got to have one sweep in there. And then after that, you get a loss here or there, sure. And then you go into that last series in Cleveland, probably with a Cleveland team that's going to be right in the thick of it as well. And you control your own destiny. We'll see what happens. I still think that the rest of this season, the script, the story, it's yet to be completely written. It's not a great evening to be a Rangers fan. The comeback there at the end was fun, but all for naught. There's no silver linings to take away from tonight. But I think I presented as many silver linings as I can for the season. You're not out of it. Astros play a very tough Seattle team up next. You beat Astros tomorrow. Seattle takes 2 out of 3 or sweeps Houston. You're in business. If you can take care of business against Miami. We'll see what happens. I know a bunch of y'all want to proclaim that we're done. I can't do it yet. I can't do it. There's still time. I know some people are going to think I'm delusional. It's okay with me. I have stayed consistent this entire year, and I think everybody that has been following the show since the beginning of the season, that's a lot of you guys, by the way, and you know how thankful I am for all of your support. A lot of you know. Since July, when people were proclaiming the Rangers dead in the water. Since August, when people were proclaiming the Rangers dead in the water. I've stayed consistent. I'm going to support this team until they are mathematically eliminated. And you will continue to get the same out of me until that day comes. Will the vibes be different after losses? 100%. And I think you can feel it from tonight versus over the weekend when we were winning those tight games against the Mets. It happens. But I've never shied away. Yes, professionalism, but I'm a diehard fan. Bleed Rangers red and blue. No other way around it. And we're going to try and bring you as good a post-game analysis as we can. If you're thinking that we are dead in the water, I don't necessarily not understand. I do. I get the emotion. But there's still hope. We keep going. Texas has to win tomorrow. Boston is looking rough. They got a tough schedule. Rick, that's what I'm saying. And look, let's look at Boston's schedule right now. Let's see what the Red Sox are up against as they finish out 2025. The Red Sox, they have the A's. Then they go and play a Rays team that is, generally speaking, pretty scrappy. And then they finish with the Blue Jays and the Tigers. Now, look, that last series against the Tigers could be interesting. I think you could potentially see the Tigers maybe mail some of those games in depending on where the race is at. There's obviously some home field advantage stuff. And I think you got to take that into consideration. Right now, the Blue Jays are at 89-62. The Tigers are at 85-66. So there is a potential for the Tigers and Blue Jays to battle it out for home field. You'd have to have the Blue Jays drop in some games, though. If the Blue Jays wrap up home field, the Tigers don't have a ton of incentive. I would say the only incentive they would have if the Blue Jays wrap up home field is staying out of that last of the division winner spot, right? The team that is the worst winning division winner, if that makes sense, has to go into the wild card round. So I think the best hope is that the Tigers are fighting at the end of the year to stay out of the wild card round. And that might be the case going into that last weekend of the season. Might be the case. Sorry if I got a couple of bugs flying around. The OGs, you know the setup. We're out here in the garage in Vegas with the swamp cooler and everything. It's humble beginnings for the show. Hey, y'all will know that the show is hitting it big when we got that official studio. We're chilling in the air conditioning. You don't hear the trickle of the water from the swamp cooler in the background. That's how you know we made it. MLB Network said the Rangers are done. I don't listen to any of them, man. They don't know. Nobody knows. You know what? I don't like to bring up the Cardinals as an example, but you know what? The 2011 Cardinals that beat our beloved Rangers in the World Series, nobody thought the 2011 Cardinals were making the playoffs, and they did. It worked out. They squeezed in on the last day of the season, and the rest is history. For me, that's the attitude that I want to keep the rest of the year until this team's eliminated. I've seen it happen too many times that a team that looks dead in the water finds a way, and a team that looks very healthy and very in control totally craps the bed down the stretch. It happens every year in baseball, and I've been saying this. Maybe it's the Red Sox. Maybe it's the Rangers. We have to face that reality. That could be a reality. But at this point, we keep the faith. We've got 10 games left. We're 3 games out of a playoff spot. There is hope. It's dwindling, but there is hope. And it starts tomorrow with deGrom on the mound against Christian Javier. And we will continue to bring you guys the best Rangers coverage you can find. Seriously, I thank you guys so much for choosing Right on Rangers for all your Texas Rangers content post-game. I can't say that enough. 3.5 back. Right now in the wild card, Rangers are currently 3.5 back. Boston obviously now slides into that last wild card spot. And Boston looks like 11 games left. Boston has 11 games left. We have 10. I think Boston, I don't know if this is a 4-game set or what for them, but they've got obviously a game in tow. And so we'll see what happens in the result of that one game that they have in addition. That could be a difference maker, a pretty big difference maker. And the Rangers do hold the tiebreak over Boston. That is important as well. And that's why it's important for the Rangers to win tomorrow. So you hold the tiebreaker over the Astros. Javier is good, but I agree with Natalie. We can and we have beaten Javier before. In the playoffs. The big stage. Lulu, thank you. I mean, look, I know y'all know some of this stuff I'm saying. Happens every year. Teams fade, and then somebody streaks into the playoffs. And hopefully it's the Rangers. Number 1 Cal fan, 100%. You said it well. Wow, if this comes true, that would be an epic collapse by Houston. The comment says, I think the Rangers make the playoffs and the Astros miss by a game. That'd be wild. That would be wild. Bad guys won tonight, Joseph. Dan, I'm trying to have some hope too, man. Turdy Stomper, I hope you're right. 9-1 to finish the season would be incredible. Realistically, the Rangers need to go 8-2. You need to go 8-2 here. I think you can afford to lose 2 games. I think if the Rangers lose 2 more games, they're probably done. I think you got to look at the standings, of course. But if the Rangers lose 2 games, I really am not going to feel super confident about the chances. You got 2 games to work with. You lose that 3rd game, over the stretch of this next 10, and I think that the fat lady's singing. Appreciate the follow, by the way. BLB, thank you. Why would that be wild? Astros are the most injured. Well, it'd be wild because the Astros are in a pretty good position right now. The Astros are 4 games up on the Rangers. So think about that, right? The Astros are 4 games up on the Rangers right now. There's 10 games left. A 4-game deficit with 10 games left. Making that up to the point where the Astros miss the playoffs by a game, just mathematically speaking, that would be wild. 100%. Now, yeah, I mean, it's very possible. I mean, don't take it the wrong way. Possible is not what we're talking about. A lot of things are possible. The Astros could lose 10 in a row. We could win 10 in a row. That's a possibility. Doesn't mean that it's likely. So, I mean, I guess don't get it twisted. The difference between possible and likely, we're talking about 2 very different things. 2 very different things. Astros do have some difficult games to finish, but losing Yordan again feels like a sign of the times. Smooth, Yordan, he's kind of getting the made of glass label, isn't he? And I'm not trying to be a hater when I say that, but I know that Astros fans are frustrated with Yordan. I've got a really, really good buddy, big Astros fan, and he is a little bit on the negative side with Yordan. I kind of tried to talk him off the ledge. This was last year when Yordan was going through some of the injury stuff, and I'm like, dude, he's like one of the best pure hitters in the sport. I think you may want to hold on to him. But I think some Astros fans do get tired of Yordan and the injuries. And look, the slipping on the plate is probably not his fault. But, nevertheless, there are some guys that rebound a little bit better from a sprained ankle than others. And sounds like Yordan is going to miss some significant time. Look, I'm not saying that every Astros fan is tired of the guy. Definitely not saying that at all. And I don't think you should be. I think Yordan is one of the best hitters in the game. But I think it would be a little bit ignorant to ignore the fact that he has not been the most available over the last couple of seasons. And obviously that's frustrating. My Mariners will sweep the Astros. Don't worry, the powerhouse is coming to Houston. Number 1 Cal fan, that is what we got to hope for. We got to hope that is what happens. The Rangers have to win tomorrow. I think you lose tomorrow, and it pretty much spells doom on the season. It was a close one tonight. The odds are definitely not in our favor, but they are still odds, right? They're still in odds. There's still a percentage chance that we can make it, and that's what I'm holding on to. Jonah swinging a hot stick, something I never thought I would read from the comments section in a Rangers game this year. Jonah Heim swinging a hot stick, but he is. You look at Jonah Heim's numbers over the last 7 games, I bet he's hitting 300. Right on the money. Jonah over his last 7 games is hitting 313 with a robust 984 OPS. Mr. Jonah Heim, 2023 Gold Glove All-Star Game World Series champion Jonah Heim. Put some respect on his name. Look, we got to laugh a little bit, y'all. I know some people are like, bro, why are you smiling after a loss? You know what? At some point, you got to laugh about it. You really do. We all love this team. You guys know. Nobody loves this team more than me, except maybe for all y'all who love it about the same. I just, for me, I got to find something. And Jonah Heim hitting 984 for an OPS over his last 7 games, that's something. Lulu, if we would have had this Jonah all season, this would be a different year. We'd probably be in a playoff spot right now. Rance, appreciate the follow, man. Thanks so much. Krill, we're trying. We're going to try to take tomorrow night, man. We're going to try. Low, I thought we might take it at the end there. That was looking good. I thought we might take it. Here's the good news. If you can keep the game tight tomorrow with Houston, they have had to use a lot of arms recently. You might be able to sneak one late if it comes down to it. Hopefully the Rangers can get up early for deGrom like they did on Friday night. But Abreu, you probably got to feel like Abreu's not going to be available tomorrow. Not that he has been the model of, shutdown for Houston. Obviously, he allowed some runs tonight, allowed some base runners, I should say, tonight. But nevertheless, maybe you can take advantage of that. I know I said I wasn't going to do silver linings for this game, but if we're just solely focusing on tomorrow night, deGrom Day, I think that is something you look at and you say, at least there's that. Carnage, surely we will be looking at next season if the Rangers drop too many more games. I think the Rangers next year, this is a little foretaste of the off-season feast to come, the off-season content feast to come here at the channel. And we've got a lot of ideas in mind. It's going to be good. I hope that it's an off-season that starts in November, not in October, but we shall see. Look, there's a lot of off-season talk to be had, and I don't want to do a bunch of that right now with the Rangers still in the race, but I have got a lot to say about this offseason. And CG, that is definitely something that needs to be addressed. Catcher is definitely going to be something that is going to be addressed, despite Jonah Heim's beautiful last 7 games of baseball. Jock Peterson should not be bunting. Gio, it worked. Look, a lefty-lefty, it wasn't a bad idea. It really wasn't. Adley Rutschman would be something else. That really would be. Monica, I don't think Adolis probably is on the 26 roster. I don't think Jonah Heim is either. I think both those guys are probably gone. And I think you do some serious thinking about a number of different positions. I think third base is going to be a position that gets thought about a lot. Josh Young, I know a lot of people love him. I don't think Josh Young is going into 2026 with third base on lock. I think right field, catcher, third base. I think first base, I think they'll probably stick with Berger if I had to guess, but I think that you got at least 3 positions pretty wide open. How about them Stros? No repeat? See what happens with the Stros. We shall see. A Mitch Garver reunion? I don't think we're going to be bringing in Garv sauce. I don't think so. I'd be surprised. There we go. Caden says the Kelly trade is starting to look bad. I think you got to see how the rest of the season plays out first, Caden. I've always maintained the only way that the Merrill Kelly trade actually looks good is if you either win the World Series, which right now, don't laugh, but the only other way is if you sign him. And I don't know if you want to sign him. I don't know what he's going to command in free agency. But that to me is about the only 2 ways that Merrill Kelly trade becomes worth it. You either re-sign him or you win it all. I don't know what the Rangers are going to be willing to give him or pay him. It really does depend on what happens the rest of the way. We keep going. He's going to cost $15 million plus for sure. Duck, I'm with you. Pitching does win championships. Absolutely. Appreciate the follow, by the way, Duck. Thank you. I definitely feel like the Rangers are going to try to re-sign. Like it or not, I don't think you can trade for this guy and then just let him walk in free agency. He would really have to implode. And tonight definitely did feel like a bit of an implosion from Merrill Kelly. You needed him to be the guy that threw a shutout nearly in Game 2 of the World Series in 2023. He was far from that guy tonight. Far from it. We'll see what happens with the Mariners. Big Game James, that was a rough one. It got interesting late, but like I said, at Big Game James, I don't know how much you've been here, but we're going to have to become huge Mariners fans this weekend when y'all go to Houston. I don't think there's any other way around it. You look at the standings right now, and the Mariners have now pulled away. They've won 10 in a row. They are up, Let's see. 4. Oh, they're even, actually. They're up 4.5 games. 4 games on the Rangers. 4 games. And they have the tiebreaker, so it's basically 5 games. I think at this point, you absolutely cheer for Seattle to beat up on the Stros, because if you win tomorrow, you actually have the tiebreaker over the Stros. If Seattle were to sweep Houston this weekend, and Texas were to sweep Miami at home, you could be in a playoff spot. And I don't think that that is a totally far-fetched scenario, by the way. It's not. Hanson, I appreciate that, man. It wouldn't be a show without a Cal Raleigh comp. Now, I gotta get on my boy a little bit. Like, I don't understand what is up with the stash. I think the beard was suiting him very, very well. So I don't know if I'm on board with all this stash stuff, but bro did just hit a couple of bombs today. Clearly, it don't matter what style facial hair Cal Raleigh does. Big Dumper is just going to keep on hitting bombs. It don't matter. But I will say, I think that the resemblance is a little bit less uncanny now that Cal has gone to the stash. Armando, appreciate the follow, man. Yeah, Zoe, we'll see how Houston does against Seattle. Clearly, as a Rangers fan, I'm cheering hard for Seattle at this point. You know, we have the best chance to pass Houston. Seattle, which holds the tiebreaker, it's basically a 5-game lead for Seattle over the Rangers. So I'm definitely, at this point, cheering hard for Seattle to win ball games when they come to Houston. You hope it happens. I mean, the only alternative, I guess it'll get a little interesting if Seattle were to lose tomorrow and lose on Thursday. That could potentially change things. But if you assume Seattle continues to roll in Kansas City, that's definitely going to be what you have to do. Dan says Cowboys are the only hope. I don't know if that's a great hope either, Dan. I really don't. I don't know if that's a great hope either, my friend. We're fighting for third with Boston, but, you know, clearly Houston is only 3.5 up, and you've got the tiebreaker with them if you win tomorrow. So for me, I think Houston and Boston are the teams you're watching most closely for sure. Both of those teams, if you win tomorrow, you would own the tiebreaker over. We'll see what happens. M's pitching and the bats they got at the deadline really scary. Yeah, they're putting it all together right now. You don't win 10 games in a row, luckily. You win 10 games in a row because you're a pretty good team. And look, I think that I've said it. The Mariners were definitely always the team that I was the most worried about in the AL. I do think that the Mariners right now are a better team than the Rangers. I don't think there's any way around that. I think that they are a better squad right now, better assembled, more depth. I hate to say that out loud because I love my Rangers, but I don't think there's any way you can deny that. Now, in a series where the Rangers are able to throw deGrom and Evo and Malley and Merrill Kelly, do I feel pretty good with Seattle and our potential success? Yeah, I don't think that we're going to get blown out throwing deGrom, Evo, and potentially Merrill Kelly 1, 2, 3 in a 3-game series with Seattle if that's what it came down to. But I think right now, Seattle is definitely the better squad. And I think you got to give them respect. They did a lot this year, including Trent, like you said, the deadline, to improve the squad. And they're coming together at just the right time, winning a lot of ball games, 10 in a row to be exact. Leiter and Rocker coming around would be huge. I do not think that this is going to be the year that happens, but you pray and hope in 2026, Leiter and Rocker can each come around. Daniel, I don't know if that's too soon or not, my guy, but you know what? Shoot, I think the Rangers will try about anything to get some of these teams in front of them to start losing games. I'll feed the delusions. We absolutely still have a shot. You win tomorrow, you sweep the Marlins, and the Mariners have a nice series against Houston, you're right back in it. You're right back in it. Jordan Montgomery, I don't know if we should have re-signed Jordan Montgomery. I think the Rangers are probably saying some thank you prayers that they didn't sign Jordan Montgomery. Natalie, I don't know if I would say that it's been a solid year for Leiter. I would say that it's been a better year for Leiter. I don't know if I would say it's been a solid year. Maybe we're just playing semantics, but I think he's obviously improved from last year. But I think that Jack Leiter still has a ways to go. Houston Texans 0-2. Do y'all think I'm a Texans fan? Or are we just throwing out Texans 0-2 to to give the Houston fans a hard time. I mean, look, I know y'all can't see the Cowboys hat on TikTok. Maybe I need to get it set up front and center. But look, we're Cowboys here on the show. But if you're trying to rub it in for the Houston fans that the Texans are 0-2, I see you. I see what you're doing. I think we're done. Hope I'm wrong. Robbie, not done yet, but not looking great. Not looking great. Anything to get me back on the optimism for this team? Sean, yeah, I think you got one of the best pitchers in baseball throwing tomorrow. You win tomorrow, you win the Silver Boot. And look, there's nothing you can say to take that away. Winning the Silver Boot is an accomplishment. It hasn't been something that Texas has done routinely. You win the Silver Boot tomorrow, I think that is a big-time accomplishment. And so, yes, I do think that is something that you look to. You win the Silver Boot with deGrom on the mound. You take that deficit back down to 3 games with Houston. And then after that, you hope that the Mariners come to town and have a nice series against the Stros, depending on what Seattle does over the next 2 days in Kansas City. Again, if Seattle loses tomorrow, they lose on Thursday, maybe we're having a different conversation. Maybe. But if I think that the Royals-Mariners series is going to play out how I think it will, I think you're cheering hard for Seattle to sweep Houston this weekend. And you just hope that Seattle doesn't pick this weekend to soil the bed. Mariners fans that are hanging out right now, you and I'm knocking on wood for that right now. I'm knocking on wood. Please do not let this weekend be the weekend that the Mariners soil the bed. Mariners definitely have a tough close to the season. They got some road games coming up, obviously. They're on the road trip right now. Good start to the road trip tonight, winning 12-5. I surely hope, though, if Seattle wins the next couple of games, I just hope they go into Houston and wreck them. Please, I would love to see it. Would love to see that happen. We keep going. Really appreciate all you guys hanging out. We are going to preview the game for tomorrow, but first, a special thank you all the paid subscribers hanging out on TikTok, anybody that's given a gift tonight on the show, thank you so much. And all my paid members on YouTube as well that are hanging out, thank you. And look, we don't take any support of the show for granted. A comment, the watch time, some of y'all faithfully watch every minute of the show, and I just could not say thank you enough. But look, over the past few months, one of the only things we've monetized on the show, I started up a $2.99 per month subscription just for anybody that wants to take their support of me and the channel to the next level. You love what we're doing. You really enjoy the content. Definitely consider a subscription. And one of the perks, one of the only perks of it is exclusive access to our Ride on Rangers Discord, which has been phenomenal over the past few months. I also do priority replies, DMs, comments on the show, on the live shows as well. So it's a little bit of everything, but the Discord being the main perk for that. Would love to have your voice in there. So thank you for considering it. If you're on TikTok and that interests you, bottom left corner, hit that subscribe button real small next to the chat, and obviously sign up, and then we'll get you right into the Discord after the show is over. If you are on YouTube or if you're watching on X, I'm going to drop the link to the show into the comments section for you. Copy and paste that into a browser of your choice, and then we will get you into the Discord immediately after the show is over. Thanks so much for considering it. And if it's not for you, no hard feelings, but I appreciate all the ways and all the other ways that you support Ride on Rangers. Thank you so much. Look, appreciate that. IRO, IROD, thank you so much. Sorry, I know it's hard for me to read off all the usernames in real time, but IROD, thank you, man. Look, I love baseball. And look, clearly we go back and forth with fans of other teams sometimes here on the show. I am totally down for some good trash talk. I mean, look, nothing personal, nothing nasty, but I'm down for some good trash talk, man. But I just love talking ball. I mean, look, I could talk Rangers forever, but I love talking other teams from around the league, especially the Rangers rivals, the Astros, the Mariners. We talk a lot of AL West ball, clearly, but I just love talking baseball. Love the sport, always have. Definitely the sport that I'm the most passionate about. We do football stuff here on the show as well. So, look, I thank you for the follow, man. And, look, everybody's welcome. I mean, we've got angels, trolls that have become regulars on the show. Talking to you, Green Arrow, right now, if you're still hanging out. Look, we appreciate all the support. We really do. It has been fun. One of the, honestly, the most rewarding things from this show. It's really not, any kind of monetizing that I've been able to do. It's the relationships, the connections. And I hope I don't lose that as the channel becomes bigger and bigger. And God willing, it will. But that's something I want to try not to lose. Some of the connections that I made with different fans across the league, fans of the Rangers, but just fans of other teams in general. I never want to lose that. And so I thank you to you guys. A big part of that is you and your support. Jacob needs to have a game tomorrow, 1,000%. 1,000%. Keep on going. Dan sent us the link. Okay. Rangers and Texas playing Saturday night. There we go. So I guess I got to do another dual show, and I can bust out the Rangers-themed Longhorns hat. There we go. Garcia needs to start. We said that he needed to ride the bench yesterday, but look, what have you done for me lately? And Dolly had a big hit tonight. Maybe you throw Dolly back in there tomorrow. Man, I surely hope you're right. This is my plan as well. Rangers win tomorrow, sweep Miami. Seattle beats Houston 2 games or 3 games worth, and then you're right back in the mix. That's the plan. Hey, but correct me if I'm wrong. Noah, didn't we beat you guys 4 out of like 6 times this year? I mean, I'm just saying. And it does help that you guys also play in one of the worst, I think probably the worst division in baseball, the AL Central. Just throwing that out there, my guy. I think at this point, the AL Central has taken over worst division in baseball. Maybe, I mean, am I wrong on that? What is the worst division in baseball at this point? AL Central's got to be up there. Seriously. It's got to be up there. I would love to have 13, 14 games against the White Sox and against the Twins and against the Royals. Look, the Royals, I know, have had their fair share of good games against the Rangers this year, but look, there's not a lot of other divisions that are worse than the AL Central. I think the AL West has beaten out. And look, if you just go win-loss record, the AL West is doing better than the AL Central. AL West has 2 80-win teams. AL Central has 1. The NL East is actually probably in the running. Honestly, it might be the NL East as the worst division in baseball. The NL East is the only other division that does not have 2 80-plus game winners. It's the AL Central and the NL East. The AL Central and the NL East only have 1 80-plus game winner. All right. Let's see. Do I think the Mariners make it? Yes, I think Mariners are going to make the playoffs. Astros about to go on a run, Alex. I surely hope not. Saw a bunch of Rangers fans at the game, of course. Rangers fans always go to Globe Life South. Globe Life South, as we call it. I'll tell you what, Rangers fans, Astros fans always come out for the away games. It's awesome. I think it's great. Mariners about to sweep the Astros. Wazoo Coug, I surely hope so. That would be a dream come true for us. You have any worries about Arch coming up on SEC? Josh, yes. I would love to see Arch Manning play a little bit better than what he's been playing. At this point, I think you have got to start seeing a little bit more out of him. I don't think he's in danger of losing his spot, but I surely would like to see a couple of good solid games in a row. Outside of Adley, upgrade would be JT Realmuto. I think it's Adley or JT that are kind of the prized possessions in terms of catching. I don't know if the Rangers are going to pony up, but I would love to see that happen. Would love it. Carnage, you're going to the game on Saturday? Good. Hopefully you bring us some good luck, brother. Defense is amazing, Josh. The Longhorns defense, low-key, not even low-key, is going to be what carries Texas, I think, this season. I don't think it's going to be Arch Manning. I think it's going to be that defense for sure. Sacred Fool, I don't think a lot of Rangers fans probably agree with you. I don't think Jonah Heim is the worst catcher in the league, but I do not see Jonah Heim getting a starting spot in 2026 on the opening day roster. I don't think Adolis, I don't think Jonah end up making the 26 roster. Let's say they don't go after or get those catchers. Do they keep Heim and Higgy? I would say no. I think they'll probably reset the catcher position if I had to guess. Heim has been injured? Yeah, I don't think they're going to be sticking around with Heim. I think Higgy will be on the team next year. I do think Heim is going to get probably traded and or non-tendered. What do I think is in Zeke's future? I think he will probably continue to be a super utility guy for Texas. I think his second half probably bought him another year. I mean, he's very controllable. I don't think that he's going to be super expensive, so I do think that they will most likely be keeping Zeke Duran around. I do. How long on Malcolm? I don't think he's going to be ready for a few years, man. I don't think Malcolm Moore is going to be ready for a while. Heim and Adolis trade package deal. Adolis would be interesting. I don't think Jonah Heim is going to attract a lot of offers. Maybe Heim could be a throw-in. Adolis is kind of the main attraction there. I don't know. Kyle Higashioka. Yeah, he has been playing injured. I still don't think that Kyle Higashioka is a primary catcher. I think Higgy is a guy you want catching, maybe 50 games. And then after that, you want him maybe DHing another 30 to 40, something like that. I don't know what the plan is going to be with Higgy. I honestly don't. But I think we all know Higgy's strength is in his framing. Next year with ABS challenge system, Higgy's most valuable asset behind the dish is going to take a hit. So at this point, I think you keep Higgy around for the bat, but I think you got to upgrade the catching position. You got to get a guy that's going to play 125, 130, hit for you, and be a good option behind the dish as well, controlling the running game, blocking pitches in the dirt. I think the Rangers have to find their guy for the future, at least for the next 3 to 4 years. ABS challenge is where the batters, catchers, and pitchers can challenge balls and strikes. Did Jock figure it out? I think he's still trying. I don't think Jock is quite there yet, but he has been playing a little bit better of late. I don't know what the numbers completely say. Let's take a look at Jock's numbers just for fun here. Looks like Jock Peterson, last 7 games, 167. Yikes. A 471 OPS. Okay, I'm sorry I looked this up. Hey, look, tonight we got to flush it, y'all. We had Josh Smith 1 for 5, Langford 0 for 4, Berger 0 for 3, Peterson 1 for 2, Heim 2 for 2, home run and a single, man. He had it going tonight. Higgy 2 for 5, both catchers combined for 4 total hits. There's a bright spot. Josh Young 1 for 4, Osuna 1 for 3 with the walk. He had a nice game. Mike Hellman 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Was not Hellman's night up at the dish. Doley had a pinch hit, RBI single. Cody Freeman was 1 for 3 with a walk. Unfortunately, came up in a big spot, couldn't come through. For the pitching, Merrill Kelly, 9 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 walk. Very forgettable evening for him. The rest of the Rangers bullpen was solid. The Rangers gave you 6 shutout innings from the bullpen, man. Very impressive from the Rangers pen tonight. I know they lose. Rangers pen had a great night tonight. 6 shutout innings in which they only allowed 1 hit. The Rangers gave up 1 hit over the last 6 innings of play, bullpen-wise. They did have 4 walks. Not ideal there, but look, very nearly unhittable in the last 6 innings of play. Carl Edwards Jr., man, he came in strong, gave you 3 Ks, 2 innings. Martin came in and gave you a good inning. Would have loved to have got this win, y'all. It's unfortunate it didn't happen. All we can do is move on to tomorrow, and that's what we're going to do right now. Yeah, 2011 Cards, we talked about them earlier, and not that we like to bring them up, but the Cardinals were 3.5 games out. They got it done. It can happen. You got to keep on pressing. Got to keep pressing. All right, tomorrow night's game. We've got Rangers, Astros for the silver boot. And we've got deGrom throwing against Javier. deGrom against Houston. Altuve, 2 for 10 with the homer. Alvarez won't be playing. Not worth reading out his stats. Caratini, he has a 273 average and 22 ABs. Correa, 1 for 3. Diaz, the catcher, 2 for 7 with the bomb. Dubon, 0 for 4. Myers, 0 for 5. Pena, 2 for 7. Smith, 0 for 3. Sanchez, 0 for 2. Trammell, 1 for 2. Urias, 1 for 2. Christian Walker, 1 for 15, but does have a home run. So Diaz, Walker, Caratini, Altuve, all have taken deGrom deep in their careers. Not a lot of great numbers up and down the lineup, but nevertheless, you do have a few guys that probably are stepping into that box with a little bit of confidence against Jacob deGrom. Still, deGrom, one of the best pitchers in the game. You got to feel good about your chances with him anytime he takes the mound. Javier on the other side of things. Christian Javier, last 7 games, a 4.78 ERA. He's coming off an outing against the Blue Jays in which he gave up 4 earned runs in 6 innings. In fact, over his last 2 outings, he has given up a minimum of 4 earned runs in each. He gave up 4 earned runs against the Yankees and 4 1/3. That was on September 4th. So he has had back-to-back rough games. He has 4 walks in those 2 games and 10 strikeouts across those 2 games as well. Javier against the Rangers. Reading you some of the stats here. Berger, 0 for 3. Duran, 2 for 10. Adolis Garcia, 2 for 20 against Javier in his career. Batting 100. Jonah Heim, 1 for 12. Higgy, 0 for 1. Josh Young, 2 for 3. Langford, 0 for 2. Moore, 0 for 3. Peterson, 0 for 3. Josh Smith, 1 for 5. Rowdy Tellez, 3 for 5 with a home run. I'm pretty sure we'll see Rowdy tomorrow probably starting. Let's see what tomorrow brings. All right, y'all. I got to take off for the evening. We're going on an hour and 27 minutes at this point. It's been great hanging out. A couple of things before we go. If you have not hit that follow button yet, please hit that follow button, man. We'd love to see you tomorrow night. We'll be hanging out again, hopefully talking about a Rangers win and a silver boot victory for the season. That's the plan. If you're on YouTube, same thing. Hit that subscribe button, man. What are you waiting for? This is what we do pretty much every night during the baseball season. We also go live on the weekends for college football. We cover the Longhorns. We cover the Cowboys here on the show. And we just talk ball in general. It's a lot of fun. Would love for you to come back again soon. If you hit that follow or subscribe button, better chance you make it back here at some point. And hit that like button on YouTube if you wouldn't mind. I know it seems kind of petty, but it helps get our show out to more and more people. If you're on TikTok right now, double tap that screen a couple of times. Let's get a few hearts on the way out. We're almost at 3,000. What are we at? 2,800 right now. Not bad for the evening. Hit that screen a couple of times. Let's get up to 3,000 before the night is over. Thank you so much for the follow. By the way, I see a couple of y'all followed. Troy, thank you so much, man. Means a lot. Thank you for support. All right. Hey, not our night tonight. There's still hope, but the Rangers got to start winning ball games, and it's got to start tomorrow. Must-win game. Must-win game. You lose tomorrow, the only hope is that Boston loses. You lose tomorrow and Boston wins, I think you pretty much say season over. Noah, thank you for the sub, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. Come hang out tomorrow night. All right, y'all. Hope you have a good rest of your Tuesday night. And as I always say to end every single show, God bless and go Rangers.